and now everyone's getting COVID.
Yeah.
In the White House. Hopefully that leads to some good news.
That would be.
Don't even get me started, dude.
I'm checking Twitter every 5 minutes to see if he's dead yet. Oh yeah. Oh God, yes. Welcome back to Is It Still Good? This is the show where we take our rose-colored glasses. We wait for children to come to the front door and ring our doorbell. When they come, we give them the glasses. We scoot them on their way. They leave forever, and we don't have the glasses anymore, and it is with those pair of eyes that we must look back upon the culture of our youth. We are just two grown-up film students who hate growing up. No guest today. The only guest is the love between the two hosts, and I am Bear Kennedy in Chicago, and joining me today with looks like a mug of delicious treats.
It is a bowl. It is a small bowl that says dog person because I'm a dog person. Let's see which one Bill would be. Actually, it's Andrew Carter in LA. In case you don't know,
I'd see an all-black one. That looks
yeah,
like
but you know what? The all-black one could be
face.
Bill, but also that one looks more like Bill the Schnauzer because he's a Schnauzer poodle.
Yep.
So it's a combination. It would be those two.
Yeah.
For anyone that's watching, but yes, I'm here in Los Angeles. Some interesting news. Zoe and I are going to be traveling to the East Coast in about a little over 2 weeks for the first time. We're going to go home and see my family and meet our nephew, my sister's baby, Adil.
Nice.
Which we are very, very excited about. We're going to do Thanksgiving on Halloween because we won't be having Thanksgiving as, a family this year due to everything going on.
I think that's a great compromise. That's very good.
Yeah, we're very excited about it.
No reason to, in a year like this to really hold yourself to the dates. You don't want to miss out on Thanksgiving. Just do it. Thanksgiving is, whatever day you make it, I would say.
Yeah.
So no reason not to.
She sent a text today and she said, she has a group text to the family, to me, my dad, my sister, Nishant, my sister's husband, and Zoe. And she said, excuse me. She goes, okay, so I'm planning Thanksgiving dinner on Halloween. Only family members in costume will be served. Prize for best costume. Please send requests for your favorite sides.
Wow. Okay, so two questions arise from that immediately. What are you going to dress as, and what is your favorite side?
Favorite side is, I think cranberry sauce makes everything better.
I agree with that, and it's such a utility. Yeah.
Yes, it really is.
I love it.
You need it. You need it. But I'm a big fan of green beans almondine.
Ooh.
The green beans with the almonds, the green beans with the sliced almonds. Phenomenal.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I like, obviously, mashed potatoes. What we're going to be is we're going to be the Nimbus 2000 and the Golden Snitch. Zoe is going to be, dressed in all gold. I'm hoping for some tight clothes, if you know what I'm saying, because that's what Daddy likes. Some tight gold, like spandex or some shit. Bill's barking, my dog. And I'm going to be the Nimbus 2000 broom. How we're going to do that, I don't know. Hang on a second. Zoe, can you come get Bill, please? Because he's interrupting the show. Thank you. I don't even know if she heard me. But, so, yeah, that's what we're going to be. And I'm excited. Are you and Jackie doing anything for Halloween, like dressing up at all?
I'm not. I like spooky shit, and I love horror in general. Movies and books and all kinds of stuff. But I'm not a huge Halloween like the day guy.
Yeah.
Like I haven't dressed up in a long time. Like I don't do.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I don't do costumes very well. Like it just kind of.
I know.
Traditionally, I'm not that into it. And it's funny. I read the Beastie Boys book. And then I watched their little documentary on Apple TV when it came out earlier this year. And one of the things they used to do,
that? I've been meaning to see it.
It's good. I mean, it's basically them recounting the same shit in the book. But if you're into them, it's a great time. One of the things they were really into was dressing up in costume all the time. Like they had rented this house in LA and broken into the owner's closet and found all these fucking weird outfits from like the 70s. And then they just went out and partied in full costume constantly. And I kind of start feeling like that's missing in my life. Like I don't really change up the facial hair. Like I don't own like
Yeah, I don't
weird
either.
clothes other than the normal shit I wear that makes me look like I'm 16. So that's kind of a soft regret in my life. But yeah, I'm not a big dresser up guy, but I like the overall mood of Halloween in October.
I do too. I like the mood. I'm with you on that one. I think costumes are great in theory, difficult in practice.
Yeah.
And there are sometimes, I mean, I had a friend, my friends Malcolm and Becca, they went, I think it was either last year or the year before, but they went as Jurassic Park characters, Dr. Grant and Ian Malcolm reimagined as a couple, and it was amazing.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's
that was
great.
perfect.
I applaud people who can pull shit like that off, but
Right.
it's very rare that I've been able to nail something that I actually felt good about and
Right.
within the price range that I thought was acceptable for wearing it
Yeah,
once.
because like DIY stuff, it's like, you can definitely do it, but you have to make sure that it looks like what you're going for. And then if you're like, fuck it, I can't do this, it's just so much easier to go buy a costume. They're like
Yeah, they
$90
look like
minimum.
shit.
It's ridiculous. Like I had fun dressing up in college because
Yeah.
it was college. That's what you did. But like as um, I almost said as an adult, but it's like I was an adult in college too. But I mean, as a guy who's out of college, I mean, I've dressed up in LA since I don't know, 4 times maybe on Halloween.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's definitely fun. But this is gonna be my first time. We dressed up 3 years ago. I think we were finally. Zoe loves Harry Potter, so I think she's just like always wants to stay in that world. She was Hermione, and I was Hermione's cat, Crookshanks.
That's a good theme to work within. There's a lot of lore with Harry Potter. You got a lot of options there.
Yeah, that's
I
the
think it's
thing
a
is
good
there's
direction.
a lot of fun things to do with it, but yeah, that's what we're doing. And this is in theme of the show. Like we said last week, we're taking the month of October to do. Each week, we're going to do something related to Halloween and October in general, I guess. But this week specifically is Halloween. We are talking about Halloween candy, and we are going to eat some on the show. And the reason it's Halloween candy and not just like we went to 7-Eleven and bought a Snickers bar is we specifically both went to Costco and bought the fun pack size or the big bags of the fun size candies. So basically, what you get when you trick or treat. I bought the chocolate and the sour ones. Bear, did you just get the chocolate ones, or did
Just
you
got the
get both?
chocolate one. I am not the world's biggest fan of chocolate. I am much more on the fruity sour side. So I saw that one. I've got the chocolate 150. The
That's what I got. I got the
yeah,
chocolate 150.
90 ounces of shit, and it's like $15, and there's just an unbelievable amount of stuff in
But
here.
why didn't you? If you're more of the fruity thing, why didn't you get that?
Because I figured, you know what, I want to evaluate and talk about some stuff that is a little more out of my wheelhouse. I wanted to challenge
Okay, that's
myself
fair.
this Halloween.
That's fair.
And so I didn't want to buy both. I thought that would be just way too much. So I applaud you for going the full distance.
Dude, it is too much. But that's the thing is I like them both equally, truly. Like when I go to a movie
Interesting.
theater and I want candy, I can't like I sometimes truly cannot decide. I'm like, I don't know, I'll get the sour straws, or then I'll get, you know, fucking snow caps and put them in the popcorn. I don't know. It's
I
difficult for me to
yeah,
decide. God, I miss
I
that so much.
I
Jesus.
can't remember if I've talked about this before, but like I'm a very adventurous eater, and really the only food I really will not eat and don't like is popcorn. So
Whoa.
I've never done the thing where you put shit in your popcorn. I find popcorn to be atrocious and unnecessary, so I never buy it.
Wow.
Yeah, I hate it. But I was at the Music Box Theater here in Chicago maybe a year or two ago, and they have 70 millimeter film festivals at least once a year usually. And I got really fucked up off an edible and went to go see 2001, which is maybe my favorite thing to do.
I
And
saw that on 70. On
I got it.
the Nolan restoration.
Yeah, I saw. I've actually seen multiple restorations, but I don't remember if this
Yeah.
specific time was the Nolan one. But I bought the biggest thing of peanut M&Ms they had, and I was really
Oh,
stoned.
I
And
bet it tasted amazing.
I just ate them one at a time. And that movie's like about 3 hours, I must have been eating them really slowly because it took me the whole movie to just like eat them. But I felt like I got that really good high where like your taste buds just kick on, and it's like you can. It's like whatever you're eating gets atomized, and you like just break it down. It's like you taste it like never before.
Yep.
And it was like a transformative.
That happened to me the other week with Nutella.
M&M's experience with Nutella. Oh god.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. It was I did like some finger scoops. Forget it. Just like right out of there. But wait, so why don't you like popcorn? And when did this? Have you never liked it, or did you stop recently?
I've never liked it. It's one of those things that I just never knew I had the permission to not hate. Kind of like how I've always hated the Eagles, and then The Big Lebowski comes out and he hates the Eagles. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't realize you could just say that in person. Or, for example, like Jesus Christ, who I also don't care for. Like you grow up and you think you have to accept certain things, and you get a little older, you're like, oh no, this is bullshit, and I don't like it. So I've never liked popcorn, and at some point I just kind of grew comfortable enough with myself. I was like, I'm not fucking eating this shit ever again. I hate how it tastes. It's either too salty, not salty enough. The fake shit is bad. It gets all over your hands.
I think that's fair.
It gets into your fucking teeth. Not even your teeth. It gets into your mouth. It breaks down.
It is annoying. The kernels stuck in your teeth is the worst. And then if it gets stuck during the movie, you're fucked.
Oh, and it's not even like it gets into the cracks of my teeth. Like it gets behind my fucking molars.
Yeah, it gets
and up in the gum line. And I'm like, get this shit out of here. Like I just don't need it. It's unnecessary. Yeah. I do like how it smells. Like I walk into the music box and they're popping it. Like it smells good, but it tastes like shit, and I hate it, and I'm never eating it.
That's fair. I like popcorn, but truth be told, I only get it at the movies, and I don't even get it every time I go. I never buy it at the store. I never bring it home and I'm like, let's have popcorn. I get it when I go to the movies. Excuse me. We'll get into why I'm yawning. It's the candy that I've been eating. I really sincerely believe that. I have an issue with yawning. I don't know what it is, but I definitely think it's the candy. But I get popcorn at the movies. My uncle also, shout out to my Uncle Will. He is a hell of a cook, and he makes great homemade popcorn. Just fantastic.
I'm not immune to like variations of popcorn. Like we've got Garrett's here in Chicago.
Ooh, Garrett's is amazing.
I know, and they do the famed Chicago mix. You get the caramel and the cheese.
From what I remember, I was gonna say, from what I remember, those kernels don't get stuck in your teeth.
No, there's something weird about the coating. They have a better mouth feel or something.
Maybe.
I'm good with that. Just the normal stuff I just hate, and Garrett's is good, but I'm not like hunting down Boy Scouts to buy their shit every fall when they're doing their fundraisers. Like I can just kind of do
Boy Scouts sell popcorn?
Yeah, well, clearly you were never in the Scouts. Yeah, no. That's their version of Girl Scout cookies. It's like a popcorn.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I guess it's a good point. I've always wondered, like, what is the Boy Scout thing? But it's the same. It's the exact same dynamic as the Girl Scout cookies. You get stuck in front of a Kohl's with a fold-up table and some dads fucking up a Saturday. That's so specific. I love it.
Yeah, hassling people, and they're
stuck
just like,
in front of a Kohl's. Yeah. The best. Before we get into the candy, the best popcorn I have had in a very long time was at the Alamo Draft House. I can't wait to go back there. Their popcorn, they do this like Parmesan herb popcorn.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. And they give you like a little silver bowl. It's too much for one person, but it's great.
I'd give it a whirl. It's just like the normal shit. Get it out of here. Don't need it. So I kind of
That's
generally,
fair.
I'm not a big eater during movies. I really like to drink during movies. Obviously, I love getting really stoned and seeing movies, especially if I've seen them quite a few times. Every once in a while, like that peanut M&M experience was great. Like I can get into the sour straws, but sometimes the sour shit, when you get the wrong like quantity, I get that thing on my tongue where it like I'll get like a spot that hurts real bad if I eat too much sour.
That hasn't happened to me in a while.
It happens to me all the time when I do that. Yeah, so that can bother me. So I tend to just not really frequent the snack portion of the movie theater, even though I go, outside of COVID, probably once a week.
So, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry in advance. So do you mostly go to movies and not get not get snacks. I feel like there was a
No.
time when I used to do that, and I think most like recently over the last couple of years, I felt like I need snacks during movies.
I do not need
More
snacks.
often than not.
I love beer. Sorry, you can see my. I've got a ghost. My lights are just flickering. I'm having an electrical problem in my apartment. So
My dear Lord.
But no, I love beer. Yeah. The
So you like to go to screenings where you can have a drink.
Love it. The Music Box has a great beer selection. Some of the nicer...
Can you take your drink into the movie?
Oh, they serve it right there. It's fucking great.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, the Alamo Draft House, they serve you in the theater.
Even the nicer AMCs do that now too. And every time, if I walk into any theater and they're pulling draft beers, like, yeah, let's go. I don't care what time of day it is. I love having a beer in the theater.
Also, to hammer home your point about popcorn, as much as I like it, I hate butter on my popcorn.
I can see that. I
can't do it.
It just
can't do it.
You're run through like a whole roll of paper towels in there. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's awful. And so on this theme of movie snacks, we have candy. We're going to be eating it. We have been eating it for the last couple of days. Not like all day, but I don't know about you, Bear, but I've been having it after lunch and dinner as my dessert.
I've been doing a little bit of that. I've been having it after breakfast because I've got the coffee going. That's good. Having it a little late at night. This is a lot of candy and it's dangerous to have in the house.
Yeah, and to be clear, we were not buying these bags and saying we're gonna finish them on the podcast or by the time we do it. It was never that. It was just like, let's get them and let's have this for a few days, because essentially we're treating it like Halloween, where like you go trick or treating and you have candy for a few days after.
Yeah, I had a really weird, what I would characterize as a high thought, because I was high and I thought this was a good thought, and then upon further review, it wasn't nearly as revelatory as I thought it was. But I was thinking about the variety pack and how, like, okay, as an adult, you buy the variety pack, children come to your house to do trick-or-treating, you give out one piece at a time, or maybe a couple if you're generous. And the children's goal is to basically reassemble the variety pack one at a time from everyone's house. And that was very weird to me.
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah.
It's a very good point. That is
the end result of trick-or-treating is for them to basically have the whole thing that you bought, right, to get it in the most annoying way possible.
Not only that is to have multiples of their favorites. Of course, I got 3 Reese's or whatever.
Hopefully,
a good night was when we had like multiple ones of the favorite.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I'm ready to dive in if you are.
I am as well. I've got a decent amount of it still left here. I brought this over to a friend's house. We were watching a little baseball and having a little marijuana, and brought this home and noticed. Couldn't help but notice that all of the Reese's were fucking gone.
All of them?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's the best one. That's what I was going to start with. And the reason I'm going to start with it is because I want to have it now and I can enjoy it before I get a stomachache.
And I was going to ask you about that too, because I've been getting some stomach aches from eating too much candy. Like the unsupervised child that I am.
Oh, yeah. And I've been feeling lethargic. And I've just been like feeling groggy, and it's just more like it's fun in theory, but like in practice as an adult, it's just like it's not. It hurts.
It hurts.
But the threshold, if these aren't delicious,
those are great, and the threshold for stomachache is much lower than I would have expected.
Oh my god!
I don't think I'm picking out too hard here. If I have like over the course of a couple hours, like 6 little fun-sized candies. Like, I really don't think that's gluttonous. Like, it's probably more than I need, but it's making me feel like absolute shit.
I mean, this is gluttonous. This bowl right here that I have Reese's, Snickers, Milky Way, peanut M&Ms, regular M&Ms, Twix, Almond Joy, 100 Grand, which I gotta say I enjoyed a little bit. I hadn't had it in a long time. I got the sour stuff.
I've gone through the Looking Glass on 100 Grand. I hadn't had it in forever, and one of my buddies was like, "Oh, these 100 Grands are bullshit," and I was like, "I don't know, they're kind of good." Like, I don't like the caramel. The caramel's like it's like a little too prominent, but the Crispies and the chocolate I'm all about. The Crispies are good, and that's what on the package they are described as crunchy Crispies. which
No,
I
it's
don't know what that
crispy,
means.
crunchy.
Fuck me in the food. I'm right fucking
There we
next to it. And I
go.
didn't even read it.
It's good though. It's good.
Crispy,
It's a
crunchy.
valiant
So
effort. I'm gonna have my Reese's now.
I'm just gonna dive in at random.
Here we go.
My
You're doing
problem.
grab bag.
Yeah. Oh, Snickers. Hell yeah. But my problem with the 100 grand is I think I like the Crunch Bar better for something that's crispy.
Yeah, the crunch is great.
And that is not included in this variety pack.
Here we go. You know what was interesting about the variety pack?
There's a lot of interesting shit.
It said Hershey's on there, obviously because it's Hershey's products, but there wasn't a little fun size Hershey bar.
I'm glad you brought this up because I ended up in a rabbit hole where, like, I was trying to find some shit on the internet, and I just got in that thing where, like, I had a question I needed answered, and I just couldn't. I couldn't get it into the Google in a way that would give me the answer. So, like,
right?
Yeah, it says Hershey's on here, and yet we've got shit from Mars, Ferrero, and like at least one other company that's not Hershey's, and it's kind of all under the banner of Kirkland. So I don't know how the fuck. Like, I almost called Costco today, like corporate, to just see if I could get someone on the phone and be like, "Hey, can you explain this shit? Because you've got candy from a bunch of different manufacturers, and you've somehow reached like a Halloween truce to sell this shit together." I have no idea what the deal is with this.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. There's no Hershey's bar in here, and this is not a Hershey's specific variety.
No, I just had a Snickers and it was phenomenal, and that Reese's was perfect.
Very
Let me
good.
tell you something though. One thing I was wondering about while eating this, I wonder what trick or treating, and I feel like it's not as big around the world as it is in the States, but I wonder what trick or treating is like in London, because London has some England has some dope chocolate. Cadbury's, forget it.
Well, Cadbury eggs are crazy good at Easter.
Oh my god!
But they got some shit over there that I would like to think would find an audience in the United States. Like, shit is different.
It does.
There,
I mean, it's a big
know why.
deal. When we would go to England as kids, you know, we would get English candy, and that would be like the fun. But I remember there was a store right outside my elementary school and we just called it the general store. And every once in a while, they would get imports of English candy, and we would freak out. It was awesome.
Yeah. That Kinder shit is good as hell.
Mm-hmm. And the Cadbury Flake and the Cadbury Dairy Milk, Galaxy.
Okay, I read something about dairy. What the fuck is dairy milk?
Dairy Milk is like Cadbury's Hershey's. It's just like a Hershey bar, but it's better.
All right, it's not milk. Like, I was picturing like milk.
No, it's milk chocolate.
Ah.
Yeah. You know what I've always been a little iffy on, and still to this day, I like it more now, but I still don't love it, is the Milky Way.
Garbage. Get it out of here.
You don't like it? Okay.
Hate it. Fuck it. Get the fuck out of here.
It's like a worse version of the Snickers.
Absolutely. It's all right. I was thinking about this in the shower. But you know how oh, I got a fucking 100 grand. I can't even get my.
See, that's the issue with the 100 grand. It's too much caramel.
I walk right into that. God damn it.
Right, you know how right now.
You know how Bud Light, like the theory. Fuck. Let me get this thing down. Good lord.
Yeah, you need to wash that down.
Yeah, with a nice beer.
With a tasty beverage.
All right, so like the thing that's always been said about the bottom tier beer, like your Busch Light, is that it's actually Bud Light that was unable to pass the quality control. And I don't know that that's true. Though I did talk to someone who works at Coors, and he said, yeah, that's super true at Keystone.
Holy shit.
They just repackaged the Coors Light that sucks as Keystone Light. I feel like Milky Way is the Busch Light of candy, because there's no way in hell. Like, why would you ever eat a Milky Way on purpose if there's a Snickers bar in the vicinity? Like,
I wonder if that was. Go ahead.
To take the peanuts out of that is basically a war crime, and unless you've got a severe allergy, I just can't imagine why you would go for it. I mean, this is without even considering how offensive Three Musketeers is, which I'd rather be.
Oh, that's the worst.
I cannot. I love Musketeers. I love, in general, anything to do with pirates, but fuck a Three Musketeers.
They're terrible. But
Awful.
I wonder if the Milky Way joke, and this is the end, was them subtly being like, Milky Ways suck, and the joke here is that everybody really wants it because the world's ending and they really want it. But I have a feeling it wasn't that. I have a feeling it was like, oh, everyone's gonna want the Milky Way. Like that's what they're going for. I don't know, but
that kind of specific question is exactly what I'll ask like Jay Baruchel if I ever meet him. Like, hey, remember that joke and this is the end about the Milky Way? Like, let me see if I've reverse engineered why it's funny.
Why would you ask Jay?
Did he write it or was it Seth Rogen?
No, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg wrote it. That's actually what I would ask. I'd be like, hey, I have a question for you. And they'd be like, what?
Yeah, I'd ask Seth Rogen. He'd be like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, he'd be like, I hate you. Yeah. I'm going to dive into the fruit stuff now. I've got Haribo, tiny little gummy bears.
We went through like a 5-pound bag of that.
See, the one worry I have, though, about like eating chocolate first is that it's so rich.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, it's okay. Like, I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay.
That's good. I'm gonna get into some normal M&Ms, which I also
I do like normal M&Ms.
See, I do not. So one of my motives here on this show today is to, if we can, to rank the shit in here.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. I like M&Ms. I don't think I've ever bought a bag of M&Ms on my own, like regular plain M&Ms, ever.
Yeah, so you've never bought them like on purpose. You've
never gone to a gas station and bought them. I've definitely done that with Reese's, Hershey's, Twix, Snickers for sure. Snickers might even be. Fuck, man, I don't know. It might edge out Reese's, but I can't imagine liking something more than Reese's in terms of candy. Besides sour stuff.
Yeah, I've had a fun-sized Snickers in forever because I've gotten the man-sized one.
Fun-sized Snickers.
The one that
really
looks
good.
like
I also have to tell you, so I'm having Sour Patch Kids right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Zoe and I did this thing called, she found this thing on TikTok. It's called the Target Challenge, where you go to Target and you look with your partner and you find their favorite drink, their favorite snack, a household item they need or like, something that's their favorite color, something that reminds you of them. And for snacks, she got Sour Patch Kids because I really like sour stuff. And it was like a big bag of them, and they were good, but they weren't super sour potent. I gotta say, these little packs right here, these have a fucking kick.
Yeah, I think the lack of space in the smaller bag of Sour Patch Kids condenses the sour powder, and you get a more intense experience.
Dude, oh my god, these are intense. These are amazing.
Yeah, I like Sour Patch Kids a lot. I do take a giant issue with the fact that you have to put children in your mouth. That bothers me greatly. Is
that why you prefer the sour punch straws? Because I prefer the sour punch straws. I think they're sour and they're a little.
I like those little watermelon slices. Those things are fucking sweet.
Those are good. Want a funny story? My aunt is like she can be very like peculiar about a lot of things. And I remember in high school, I was like obsessed with those watermelons at one point, and I was having some. And it was like around Thanksgiving, and she was like, oh, what are these? And I was like, sour watermelons. They're so good. And she's like, oh, and she takes one, and she just goes, and was so grossed out, just opened her mouth and was like literally one little bite, like, and was completely horrified. It was very funny.
I've bought a lot of Sour Patch Kids in the recent years because back before January of this year, weed was not legal in Illinois. But I used to fly to California all the time for work and whatnot. And I was thinking about, okay, I could probably bring some edibles back on the plane. I was a little nervous about it. And so I called one of our friends who's actually a dual citizen for the UK as well. And I know that he'd flown with some weed. And I was like, hey man, you ever fly with edibles? Like, is that okay? Like, I'm a little nervous going back to Illinois. He's like, dude, I bring him to London constantly from here. I was like,
wow.
Well, that's international crime. So if you're...
This is a person that we both know or just that you
Oh,
know?
Yeah. We both... It's one of our good friends. And he was
Oh, I
like,
know who it
never.
is. I know who it is.
He's like, never think twice. Just put him in
I
another
know.
bag, and you're
I
fine.
know
So
exactly who it is. I won't say it because we're putting this, but I know exactly who it is.
I
There's no
was
question.
for years going like easily 50 edibles in a big bag of Sour Patch Kids in my carry-on
Wow.
bag.
Just
Flying
so I'm
back
clear,
LAX
does
Air.
this person have family in England?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I know. I know 100. I'm not. There's not. I don't have a doubt in my mind.
He's a good friend of ours. I just don't want
Oh
to out
yeah.
him on international drug smuggling.
Yeah, no, me neither. But he's a good man. Or a good woman. He's a good friend.
No, who could say? Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, another nice little pleasant surprise in the fruity pack were the sweet tarts. And
Love sweet tarts. One of my
I
favorite
always liked
things
them,
ever.
but
Love
these
them.
are like the mini chewy ones, and I really like them.
Those
They're
are
very
good. I used to as
There's
a
a little bit of a
kid.
sour kick to them.
Yeah, there's just a little bit there. It doesn't like blow out your tongue like the Sour Patch children do. When I was a kid, I would ride my bike to the drugstore and get that roll of sweet tarts. You know what the fuck I'm talking about? Like the thick ones that you just peel off. Holy shit, I'm like fully hard thinking about that now. Those are so good.
Stuff. So what was like, do you have an early memory of candy? Or was it just like, I remember candy? Like,
I mean, I definitely remember doing Halloween. I grew up in like the very, very hard suburbs, like subdivisions, houses look the same, tract housing type shit. So
yeah,
very safe for a kid to grow up in. So in Halloween, you would just basically go out with your friends and walk around your little neighborhood and go to every house. So Halloween was a big deal. So I definitely remember doing that a lot as a kid. My parents were, I'm the oldest, and they're pretty conservative as it is, but they were real strict on candy and shit. Famously, they only ever let me have 2 Teddy Grahams for dessert. And that was it when we had dessert as a kid. Yeah. That was pretty hardcore.
2 little Teddy Grahams.
2 Teddy Grahams. So think of how small a Teddy Graham is. My mom's like, oh yeah, it's great. You can have 2 for dessert. And I was like over the moon.
Wow.
That was amazing. So I grew up a little more, and I realized that I should have called Child Protective Services for that. But I remember I remember getting like a pillowcase full of candy after Halloween, bring it home, and my mom didn't want me to choke on some of the harder candy. So
Starburst gets knocked down a peg. I just opened it up. 2 yellow ones. Come on.
I don't mind the yellow. It's fine.
No, I like the yellow, but 2 of the same one.
Variety.
Yeah, you want variety.
So anyway, my mom took the like suckers, like Charms blow pops, which I love, and just took them out of the bag. And I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And she's like, "Oh, it's a ball on a stick. It's just fun to play with. It's a ball on a stick. You gotta just play with it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I never got my hands on that till later. My most vivid memory was driving in the car on the Ohio Turnpike in the passenger seat, and I was probably like 4 or 5 years old, so shouldn't have been in the front seat. Choking on a lifesaver, like hard choking. Like I fucking choked on a lifesaver to the point where it probably could have been very bad. And we're going through the toll booth, and my mom pulls a car over, and she's like, "Oh my God, my child is choking." And there's like a state trooper like parked nearby, and he comes over, reaches through the window and just like whacks me on the back, and I spit it out, and he's like, "All right, you're good to go."
Holy shit.
Yeah, so a little light candy trauma in my background.
Yeah, definitely. My God.
What about you? Do you have hard memories of candy that are happy, or just more weird sadness?
In terms of candy, it's kind of a blur. Like I don't remember, like, because candy's not a thing. I mean, like, what parent wants to sit down with their kid and be like, "You're gonna really enjoy this"? Like they want their kids to stay the fuck away from that shit.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I'm eating Swedish fish now.
I've moved on to the Almond Joy, which I'll let you finish your story, but I am obsessed with Almond Joy.
Wow, we'll get to that. So in terms of candy, I don't really have anything specific. I just remember growing up and loving Reese's and sour stuff. And I remember going to this candy shop called Ada's. which was like an old woman named Ada. She was literally like, I think she was perpetually like 83 years old, and I think she died at 83. But I swear, when we were kids, it was like, oh, there's Ada, the 80-year-old woman. And she had a glass thing, and she would like reach in with her hand, and we'd ask for like little candies, and she would give us these little tiny brown paper bags and fill them up. It was phenomenal. But she hated it when you touched the glass and jumped on the glass, like, because that was what was behind the candy. Mm-hmm. And I remember we were in line to get candy once, and there was this little boy who had a little toy caterpillar who was behind me in line, and I was trying to like make him smile because I think I was like 8 maybe or 9, and he was probably like 3 or 4. And he was pretending to bite me with the caterpillar, and he would go to my hand, and I'd go, ah, and he'd go, ah, and I kept doing it, and jumped a little bit, and like was kind of leaning on the glass, and after like 2 or 3 times, Ada yelled at me and was like, don't jump on the glass. And she literally looked like a witch from a Halloween movie anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was definitely like traumatized by that. And another time was when I was on Halloween, we were trick-or-treating, and this woman who I remember I recognized her from our church, and I was like, oh my God, I know her because she goes to our church. And we knocked on the door, a bunch of friends of mine and I, and she goes, happy Halloween, like, come on in, come all the way in, come all the way in. And we stupidly did, but she just led us like around her house and then back in front of her fireplace and was like, here you go. And like I think some of us actually didn't take candy. I remember, I think someone told me, I think my sister might have been with me and was like, don't do it. And so we didn't. Because we didn't know, because like she let us in our house and around for no fucking reason.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
And it was really fucking weird. But I also remember with Halloween candy just like making trades. Like I'll trade you a Reese's for that or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about Almond Joy, because I gotta say I like it too. But as a kid, I think coconut was like no way.
So yeah, so I was getting into the candy last week and pulled out an Almond Joy, and my buddy was like, "Oh, those are awful." And I was like, I don't know. It's been a while since I had one. And this, I would say, I was peaking off the edible. I know this is a weed-heavy show all of a sudden, but it's been a long time since I had an Almond Joy, and I popped. I'm gonna use one for demonstration, but I popped it open, so I really didn't remember what this was. And it looks like this, and I bit into it, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" It's amazing. And I turned to my buddy, and I was like, "You don't like these, right? Like you know enough about
with an almond in the middle."
Yeah, I was like, "You know enough about Almond Joy to not like them." He was like, "Yes." I was like, "Is this standard?" Because I don't want to sound like Jerry Seinfeld, but the word almond is in the fucking title of this thing, and this is a coconut candy with minimal almond. Like, yeah, this is a giant middle finger from Hershey's. Like, what? This is so clearly the worst candy in coconut here. Yeah, what the fuck? This is a coconut candy with a full entire almond, just one of them on there.
No, why don't they call it Coconut Joy?
This is exactly. This is some kind of fucked up joke. Like, I love it. This is so clearly the worst candy in here. It's almost the best. It's like full horseshoe theory.
Yeah, I still enjoy it though. It tastes okay.
I don't hate it. I don't hate coconut. I'm okay with it. I was reading the history.
I've grown to really like it. So,
I mean, I read about the history of Almond Joy and Mounds, which is like its sister candy bar.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Almond Joy has the minimal amount of almond, and Mounds does not. And in fact, there's an easy way to remember this. Their jingle from the 70s was, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joys have nuts, Mounds don't.
Okay.
Yeah. But these apparently Mounds was big with the troops in World War II. And
my grandparents liked Mounds.
So my one grandfather
was an old person candy. That's how I
I had a grandfather who was a fighter pilot, and he came over for dinner at my mom, and my mom cooked, and he was my father's father, so other side. And she was a little nervous, like the first time they'd come over to like the house. She's cooking, and she made like some kind of cake dessert that was probably fucking awesome, and it had coconut on it. And I don't know if my grandfather had just been traumatized by eating too many Mounds at the Air Force Base or whatever back in the day. But he took one look at that. He was like, "Oh, what's on that?" My mom's like, "Coconut." And he goes, "Coconut? Don't like it." And like my grandmother yelled at him. She's like, "Bill, you can't just say," like she made this thing. He's like, "Sorry, don't like coconut."
His name was Bill?
Oh, yeah. His name was Bill.
My grandpa's name was Bill, too. My mom's dad.
And so every time coconut comes up in conversation in our family, like I will, as a reflex, just say, "Don't like it." Like everyone does it. And none of us hate it. It was just like, he was so visceral about it. We just always loved that.
Well, yeah. If you're a veteran, you're visceral about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Shampoo, don't like it.
Don't like it. Don't use it.
I got a special one that I have not had these that I'm about to have in probably since I was in the early double digits. Nerds.
Love Nerds.
I used to love rainbow sherbet with Nerds on top at Baskin Robbins.
You know what? Take that little box, you open that shit all the way, dump them right in. Straight out. That is one bite.
I'm having sips.
No, all the way in. Love it.
Wow. Yeah,
get that shit going right into the teeth. Oh, yeah.
My biggest worry with this is what we're doing to our bodies.
It's not good.
It's not good. But, like, we're going to be okay, right? Because it's not like we're doing this all the time.
We'll be fine. You can take detours, along the highway of life to, fuck yourself up on different things. And,
yeah.
As long as it doesn't become a habit, I think you're all right.
Jesus Christ.
I have a rule, and I'm not even anywhere near this for the last couple of years, but I will smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a year, and that's it.
Wow. Okay. I don't smoke cigarettes at all, but
they're great, but they'll kill you. So you got to kind of have a rule about it.
Yeah.
And pick your spots.
One thing I've been doing during these last 48 hours of eating this is, otherwise I've been eating pretty healthy. Like I had fruit for breakfast, and then I had salmon. I've had salmon for dinner last night, lunch today, and dinner tonight, with vegetables and I had it with either vegetables and sweet potato or just vegetables. And I think for lunch yesterday we had Taiwanese takeout, but other than that I've been eating pretty healthy since I got this candy.
That's good. You got to offset it a little bit.
You got to offset, right? Exactly. You got to offset it just a little bit. But Jesus Christ, dude, this is insanity. My God.
Let me ask you one more question. Let's get into ranking.
Let's do it.
Because this kind of segues into it. But do you think that there's a hierarchy of how people work their way through a variety of candy like this? And do you think it's similar for everyone? Because I would say that it's almost like a joke that the Almond Joys and the 100 grand are going to be what's left over after.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Any
no
sample
question.
of time.
Milky Way probably too.
I would imagine so. Yeah. So is that universal? Is there a universal hierarchy where people go for the same shit? Like I don't have Reese's in here. I noticed I'm out of Twix too.
I would say that it's universal in the sense of what people like the most, but in terms of how they decide which one to eat. I can imagine someone eating Twix first just as much as I can imagine someone eating Reese's or Snickers first. So I'm not necessarily going to sit here and say you start with Reese's, then you go to Twix, then you go to Snickers. But I guarantee you that I agree with you completely that Almond Joy and 100 grand, and I think the toss-ups are Milky Way and York Peppermint Patty.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people like peppermint patties. I feel like that might be a nice finish.
Always.
Of the mint.
I completely agree with you because I think they're quite good.
They are.
But when I have one, I'm kind of done. I don't want anything afterwards because it's a pretty intense flavor.
Dude,
I have more than one.
I have Milky Way, 100 grand, a Twizzler, and a York left. Since I haven't had a Twizzler yet, I'll have that. And I've had Milky Way and 100 grand earlier. Yeah. I don't think I can have all of this because my stomach will be the most bloated ever. But I haven't had Twizzlers in a long time, so.
Twizzlers are fine. I know some people are very aggressively Red Vines versus Twizzler, and to me they're both kind of fine.
They're both fine. I would say Red Vines have maybe a little tiny bit more flavor, especially when paired with a soda.
Yeah.
I think there's a different coating on the Twizzler than there is on the Red Vine.
I think you're right.
But it's more of a glossy coating, syrupy coating maybe. So that means it's great for you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm snapping into a Kit Kat, and these are delicious with morning coffee. I will say, you can dunk that shit right in.
I can't believe you've been having it with your morning coffee. That's insane.
There's so many things that pair well with the morning coffee. So don't be afraid.
We just made our new. We just made a short film. First short we made in. The first one we've made in over a year, and the first one we made during COVID. And it's called Marvin's Never Had Coffee Before, and it's about a guy who has his first cup of coffee, like a grown man, and all he wants to do is connect with people about it, and nobody cares. but it's about like connection during COVID, and it's like the opening scene is him on a Zoom call because it takes place during COVID, but we don't explicitly say like COVID. Am I right? It's just he's on a work Zoom and people are like catching up, and then everyone's like, "Oh, let me get my coffee or whatever," and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I had this. Oh yeah, I used my espresso. Yeah, it's a bold roast morning for me. Yeah," and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm obsessed with coffee." And it's like, it's clear that he's like never had a cup in his life. And we open with like we did some like kind of almost like industrial establishing shots of coffee, like various cups of coffee, people having it. And then it's like hard cut, a glass of water being poured, and it's this guy. And it's like, yeah, dude, we're excited about it. It'll be funny, but like, it just what you just said. So many things pair well with morning coffee. Like, I can't, because this is a little bit loosely inspired by the fact that like I had never had a cup of coffee until like a year ago.
Yeah, I was never into coffee, and then I had to work at Starbucks in college because I didn't have any money. And
right,
I mean, at that point, it's free, so I was going for it. Yeah,
I've grown to appreciate it, but I'm also already very extroverted and hyper. I don't need coffee.
I wasn't going to say that to your face, but you're super spot on with your self-assessment.
Well, I was going to say it to your face. I appreciate that because you're savage. I'm surprised that you wouldn't say that.
Nah.
You know, I'm a self-aware guy. I can take it. I'm going to have my York now, so that means I'm done. I think that's the key. I think I will say that York means that you're done.
Yeah, so yeah, for me, I like the York. I was reading a little bit about the York peppermint patty, and apparently their quality assurance is that it's a more crisp inside than maybe some other peppermint patties on the market, which is what I read. And then I was
like, Junior Mints mini Yorks?
I have no fucking idea. That's a great question that they could be. It could be the same Busch Light theory.
I do like Junior Mints.
But it's not like there's a ton of competition for the peppermint patty market, but apparently you should be able to snap a York peppermint patty cleanly in half without it breaking up like I just did. And that's how they... Yeah, right here. I mean, my halves are a little fucked up, but it didn't crumble.
I'm sure that's true. I should have done it with mine.
And that's what they've staked their reputation on, is that inside, there's a very interesting texture inside.
It is.
I think these are great.
It's like mint fluff.
It's
like whipped mint. And let me tell you something else. They have to be the last thing. Because you remember when you go to restaurants and you get those Andes mints?
Oh, yeah.
Has to be. York has to be it. Like, I don't even want to look at these fucking things. Milky Way and 100.
Yeah. It's weird because I really like the York, but it is so specific that it really, to me, it harms it in the rankings because you cannot have, to me, more than one of these is madness. And
it almost feels like the York has to be last because it's such a good closer.
Absolutely.
And here's the other thing. Am I going in here in terms of like the weird thing about candy is that it tastes great when you're having it, and before you have it, you really want it. And then once you've had it, you don't want to look at it for a long time, and you feel like shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel fucking gross.
Which I am in that right now.
I am definitely in that right now.
So give me your rankings on the fruity pack. Tell me, straight through. What are we doing?
All right, fruity pack.
Go from best to worst.
From best to worst or worst to best?
Best to worst.
Best to worst. All right, well, best for me are the Sour Patch Kids, easily. That's best.
Got it.
Second best, a little bit of a surprise even here to myself, but the Sweet Tarts for sure.
Hell yeah.
Third are the Haribo Gummy Bears.
Okay.
4 is Nerds, which is also a little bit of a surprise here. Then we got Swedish Fish.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go Starburst. Even though they gave me 2 yellows, I still like the fruity flavors of Starburst. I actually might switch Starburst and Swedish Fish.
I was
like
making a mental note of that myself. I was like,
there's
a
little bit more variety. There's a little bit more variety in Starburst, and just because I didn't have it here doesn't mean that I can't appreciate it here. But Swedish Fish, and then last is definitely Twizzlers.
Yeah, I think that's.
And actually, what's funny about
that's good.
Is Twizzlers is a good closer for this because it's the least amount of flavor. It's very plain.
Yeah.
It's it's almost like you're giving your stomach a slight break.
Yeah, no sourness. They're not overly sweet.
No.
But
I like sour shit because it's like I don't know. I love sour beer too. I remember at Call's bachelor party we went to the Belching Beaver and we got the purple drink.
Yeah.
That's my favorite beer I think I've ever had. Zoe and I went back to San Diego in February and we went to Belching Beaver and I was like, hey, can I get some purple drink to go? Because I got some to go at his bachelor party and they were like, oh, we stopped making it. And I was so bummed. But we still got a bunch of other great sour beers, like terrific ones.
The sour beer is great, man. If you find a good one, it's always good. I like your rankings. I think I would bump Haribo down and put Nerds up.
That's very reasonable.
But other than that, I don't think there's anything too controversial.
So you'd still put Sour Patches. You'd put Sour Patches first.
Like I said, I don't like that you have to put children in your mouth. That does bother me.
That's fair.
And I do have a hard association from smuggling so many weed edibles in Sour Patch Kids. I would eat the edible and 5 kids with it. So I have a strong association with being super stoned.
Wait a minute. So would you eat these before your plane ride, or would you just bring?
You take the bag of Sour Patch Kids, open it. You open all the edibles packets, and you just dump them in the Sour Patch Kids and mix it up.
And so do you have edibles and Sour Patches in there together?
Yeah, and so when the edibles get stale, which they if you fly with 50 of them, there's gonna last you for like a couple weeks. So towards the end of that, they start to get a little hard. You just mix in more Sour Patch Kids, and it brings the taste right back to life in your mouth. So
wow,
so that's all good.
Okay, wild,
moving into the chocolate.
Let me ask you your chocolate, and I actually would love it if you did worst to best.
Worst to best. All right, very interesting. Let me make sure I don't forget. I'm gonna cheat and look at the package.
Just look at your empty wrappers if you still have them.
I put them in the trash can like an idiot.
You fool.
With a bunch of other wrappers because I've been eating shit at my desk.
No, it's fine.
Okay. At the bottom, I'm going to put Milky Way. It's garbage. Fuck it. Right above that, normal M&Ms.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Above that, I will do the York Peppermint Patty, which I like, but it's so specific.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to move into the 100 grand, which is a nice surprise, but I don't think it needs to be seated any higher than that. Then we'll go Kit Kat. After Kit Kat, Twix. So we're moving up into the business end of the list. M&M peanut butter, or peanut butter, Christ, peanut M&Ms. They're on here as M&M's peanut chocolate candies, which I read and it fucked me up how I was saying it. So
yeah, that is a weird way to say it.
Very strange. Then Almond Joy, because like I said, it's so clearly terrible. I love it.
You love it, yeah.
I love that it's basically trolling to not alert anyone that there's almost no almond in this thing. The color scheme is hilarious. And I don't know. It
is really funny. It's is this like a Hawaiian candy because of the cookies?
Yeah, it just makes me happy how stupid those are. So I'm putting it pretty high. And then I don't know if I said Twix, but I would I'm kind of losing track. But Twix, and then to round it out, Snickers and then Reese's. And
I don't think you said Twix, so yeah, that's
okay. So that's where I put it.
That's good. I like that. Okay, mine, completely agree. Milky Way is dead last.
Ass. It's total ass.
Fucking.
It
like
is
I
terrible.
had it and I was like, all right, this isn't like this is like if I was craving chocolate and this was like the only thing the store had, sure, I'd have it and I'd be fine. But Jesus, I did not. It's not good.
It's like someone fucked up a Snickers.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's like someone forgot to put the peanuts in the Snickers and was like, all right, fuck it. Let's just do that. All right, sorry guys, bad batch. Are we cool? It feels like a guy who's at a candy shop making his own candy, coming out and saying, "Guys, I'm so sorry. These Snickers actually we forgot the peanuts, so I'm gonna give you these on the house. You can have them." Like that's the thing. Is like you give this shit away for free. That's how bad it is.
It's either that or like it's like Willy Wonka having an illegitimate child with a peanut allergy and being like, "I've made this confection just for you."
Yeah,
because it's
exactly.
just I can't understand it. But I'm sorry.
Exactly. Bill's fucking dude. My dog is going crazy. Hi, Bill. He's just clawing at the door. Bill, no. He's gonna eat the wrappers.
Hell yeah, he is.
Bill, no. Don't eat the bottle cap. Hang on. I was having a bottle of water. He's trying to get the bottle cap. No, it's okay, babe.
He missed you.
Zoe, say hi.
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 Bear says hi. Bill, go ahead. Go with mommy. Daddy's almost done. I'll be out soon. Okay? He doesn't give a shit. Okay, so you want me to go same as you? Worst to best?
No, you insisted on going. Didn't you just say you were going best? Worst to best.
Worst to best. I'm starting with the worst. Yeah, okay.
All
So
right.
I already started. Milky Way dead last. He and Bob Barker are now dead last. After that, I probably would put 100 grand. Then I would put, I thought about putting the York here, but I'd actually like the York better than the Almond Joy, so I'm going to put the Almond Joy there, followed by the York. And as we move up the rankings, I'm going to go Kit Kat. I'm going to go regular M&Ms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go peanut M&Ms. And then my top three are identical to yours. Twix, Snickers, and then Reese's is number one. No question.
Yeah, that is hard to argue with. I really think those are the clear favorites out of this bag.
I think the only people that could argue with that are people with peanut allergies. Because then they have a whole different perspective on it. And I'd be curious to hear what they say. That's tough to not be able to eat Reese's, man. Fuck.
They're very good.
Yeah. It's funny, Khalil has a peanut allergy, and I think it was maybe like a year ago or so. I can't remember. It was probably about a year ago. I had him and a friend over, and I think it was actually around a year ago because it was around Halloween time when we had like Reese's pumpkins or something. And there were some Reese's out and I was like absentmindedly like about to have one, and he was over, and then I looked and then I was like, oh shit, can I not have this in front of you? Cause I don't want to make you, and he's like, no, he's like, no, I mean, technically not. Technically I'll be fine. And I was like, oh, well, like, can I do it? And he was like, I mean, yeah, sure. And I was like, what are you not telling me? Like, what's going on? He's like, no, I mean, you can have it. I just probably won't like you for a few minutes. And I was like, you know what? I get that. Like, if I had a nut allergy and people were having Reese's in front of me, I'd be like, God damn it.
I thought he was going to be like, yeah, you can have it, but you have to stick me Uma Thurman style with the EpiPen.
Yeah, you have to stick
45 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
All right, so we're coming to the close at our Halloween candy extravaganza. So I will ask you the titular question: is it still good?
This is a really tricky one because, like, candy's a weird thing in that, like, again, after you have it, you're like, get this shit away from me. But you're gonna wake up the next morning and be like, all right, I'm ready for more. And you have a bad stomach ache and whatever. I'm gonna say that yes, it is still good. Like, this stuff is obviously still tastes good and everything, but as we've said, your threshold for stomach aches is a lot lower as an adult. So proceed with extreme caution. Like what we just did, I'm going to be in fucking pain later. And I would say, yes, it's still good for sure. I mean, it's especially those top three, Reese's, Snickers, and Twix. Forget it. Those are always going to be good. No question. Peanut M&M's probably as well. I could probably live without the other stuff and do just fine. But the sour stuff, I would say Sour Patch Kids and the Sweet Tarts are great. But out of that, really the only sour stuff I like are the Sour Patch Kids and the Sour Punch straws.
Yeah.
But other than that, everything else I'm fine without. Don't need it. Don't need regular M&Ms. Don't need Almond Joys, Peppermint Patties, Milky Ways, 100 Grands. I will say I think I prefer Junior Mints to Peppermint Patties just because of the size. But yeah, I'd say still good, but I would just be very, very careful about how you eat it and how much you eat it. And I wouldn't say that this is something that you should just like go off and have a ton of whenever you want. But yeah, it's still obviously good.
I'm gonna use the criteria of is this going in the rotation, and I've enjoyed eating this stuff and thinking about it and talking about it, but this is way too much candy.
Yeah.
And you know, fully half of this is kind of passable, as you said.
Right.
And so I'm going to say no. Like, I don't need this much in the house. I'm not going to.
I'm getting rid of this tonight.
I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with the rest of this shit because I kind of don't want it around.
I don't either.
So it's fun to rediscover some of the stuff I haven't had in a while. But, essentially, like I said, the end goal of Halloween is to physically reconstruct this bag when you're a kid, kind of one piece at a time.
Right.
And as an adult, you really don't need that at all.
No, you don't.
And the enjoyment you get out of eating like one or two of these is fine, but when you get over that threshold, it is physically bad and mentally a little hard to deal with. So I'm going to say no. The Halloween candy extravaganza is not still good. Though your mileage may vary on this stuff, but I mean, I've eaten more 100 grand bars than any other 32-year-old probably on earth this week. And I don't think that's a good thing.
I agree. And like I said, I think the only things that are still good are Reese's, Snickers, and Twix. But even those, it's not like I wake up and need those,
Oh, yeah.
So you know what, man? This might be the first time in history that I do this. I think I'm going to change my answer to no.
Well, this is a show of discovery, Sometimes you're
I feel like hearing your argument was very good, and I agreed with every word. It wasn't like, no, wait. I agreed with every word. I think we're both on the same page because, yeah, dude, that's the thing. I'm not going to fucking want this shit tomorrow. I don't want it now.
Yeah, I have such an incredible desire to brush my teeth right now.
I just want to like take a bath and sit and soak in it and just like wash away my sins of eating candy.
Well, I like that you're teasing future topics, but
it's true. Yeah. No. All right. We're both no's. It's not still good. Especially kids, have your fun. Adults, come on, guys, be smart.
Happy Halloween, you shits.
Yeah. Happy Halloween, and just don't get a tummy ache. You can visit us. StillGoodShow.com, Instagram @StillGoodShow. Admittedly, we are taking a bit of a break from Instagram. The social media is just way too much right now with politics and everything. So you can still find us there, yes, but it's, we might not post something for a little bit just for personal reasons. The election is just, it's exhausting seeing so much politics shit on social media. I hope that's okay. Bear, what do you think? I think that's fine.
Whatever.
I think it's perfectly reasonable. You can also email us at stillgoodshow@gmail.com. And like we said, we are doing a Halloween theme each week in October. And so we will see you next time for our next Halloween topic. And we look forward to it. And look at that. The lights just dimmed on there.
As my shit's flickering.
Great way to end it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and now they're back. The ghost is back. Not over yet. And Bill just barked. Maybe that's what's going on. Bye, guys.